Hello, hello, hello. Hi, friends. So I do say more than one greeting at the beginning of my videos because sometimes my introductions have been cut off. So just to ensure that it picks me up and I don't lose any important messages in the beginning, I just say hello millions of times if I can, so that my audio is picked up, so that the live show can recognize that it's on and that I'm on and you guys are on. So that's why, if anyone ever inquired why I'm like hello, 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 hi in the beginning, that is definitely it. I just don't want you guys to miss a beat, and neither do I. And so today's message is about abundance. Abundance awareness, realizing where you are feeling a little extra. It could be some overwhelming feelings, it could be positive or negative. You could be experiencing an abundance of negativity. You could be experiencing an abundance of positivity. You may be experiencing a bunch of chaos all in between. And it's like trying to come up to the surface. I'm hearing for some, we have double hermit energy on the tarot. So it's really indicative that the true clarity that you may be needing in your situations may come from hanging out by yourself, putting up boundaries, cutting people out, carrying your own weight and your own light. This hermit card, it's depicted as an old man. He has a white beard. It looks like a wand, but it's golden, right? If we see other cards, the wand is represented as, it looks like a stick. It's brown, but on the hermit is holding a golden stick. So the hermit's really wise, definitely knows a lot more than you would maybe consider that they do. And so maybe either you guys know a lot, or you're dealing with a person who is very knowing, and it may be an interesting energy to be around someone who can embody such a hermit energy and be able to shine their light. The hermit card exudes Virgo energy. If you are a Virgo, you may resonate with the hermit card, but that doesn't have to be true. You could also be dealing with a fire sign. Just with the wand here depicted in the hermit card, you may be dealing with the fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. We have a page of pentacles, so many of you in the collective are young and successful. And with being successful, period, you experience a lot of abundance, and that is both a lot of hate and also a lot of love. And then it makes it double the trouble, or a double whammy, however you want to see that, being young and successful, because many people don't see their success until later on in their life, after they've experienced their first Saturn return, maybe after their 30s or in their late 30s or 40s. Sometimes it takes being up until the 50s and 60s for some to see success in the areas that they wish. And so if some of you are resonating with being young and successful, like Page of Pentacles is a youthful energy. But not all of you are going to be young. Some of you are just successful and are starting a new journey, right? You've been as successful, it's been satisfying up to the points that you have been to, and now you want to start something new. Page of Pentacles is kind of giving me a dual energy of some of you are later in your life starting something new, and it's very clear that whatever you work on, you will be successful in, even if it's something that you're new at or barely learning or anything to that degree. Is like some people are experiencing your energy and they're like, what do I do with it? Some either don't realize they're sending hate. Some people don't realize that they love you or are obsessed with you. And obsession could be both love and hate. It could be a mixture of both. It could be purely love. It could be purely hate. This reading is going to be all about trying to be more aware of your placements with these things. Excuse me, I'm burping. So that's a release for me. There's been a lot that needs to probably be channeled out, and that's why me being in this reading, I may burp a few times, because it's like I'm releasing energy from the throat chakra, that I'm a channeler. So if there's something that's needing to be said, and I'm saying it, I may be releasing it. I may be seeing the abundance in that area, and then once I actually do the action, you're seeing a release. That's a part of, me looking to myself for the signs that certain things are occurring for my physical and emotional body. Whether or not you guys tune into this sort of practice, I can open up conversations to help show you, where your placements are. My readings are meant to be timeless. So if you are experiencing it today, it may be meant for you today. It could be channeling something in the past, present, or future. You may also find that, only some of the reading works today, and a reading may work later on. You may find, your placements are going to be all over the place. So just take your unique, special experience and gifts and apply that to yourself. You know where you've been, you know what lessons you need and what lessons you don't need. You know a lot more about yourself than I do. I'm just getting used to getting to know you guys, and I'm just strengthening and improving my channeling abilities. So wherever you find your messages to be, please make sure that it is your message and not here for somebody else. There is a variety of different energies and a variety of different types of people and situations that could be occurring. So if I say something that's too specific, realize that it's probably right on the nail for somebody else, and it needed to be here for them. And so just leave that energy alone if it's not for you. It does need to be present for somebody else, because it may literally be saving their life or helping them in some way to save someone else's life. So just do not bring forward hate, because you don't know who you're going to be affecting later on down in the line. A domino effect is a domino effect. If you push one thing over, many other things can fall over. And maybe that's a message you guys may need with abundance. Perhaps abundance of bullies, abundance of enemies, but also abundance of allies, abundance of good partnerships and connections. Some of us are experiencing both and don't know who's what and where, and what people's intentions are. We can attempt to get the most out of our readings, but if you need a personal, you can definitely reach out to Magic with Melly on any social media. You will have to send your deposit. There is a requirement of deposit if you would like to begin service with me. We can discuss that. You just need to let me know that you need to know for yourself that you need help, and then let me know that you'd like me to be the one to be of assistance. Other than that, I can, no need to be afraid of asking questions, no need to be afraid of anything like that. But if you'd like an official service with me, I do need your deposit in order to be taken seriously. Otherwise, I may ignore your message, because it may come off as being harassed, or it may come off as hidden animosity, being attacked. I've experienced a lot of it. I am very protective of my work. The double hermit energy, I resonate with this. I'm not dealing with anyone's bullshit no more. If you have given me bullshit, you're literally out of my personal life. I just won't give you the energy that you're asking of me, because you had it before and you took advantage of it and took it for granted. So at this point, if you're here, you're still receiving from me, and that is the limit. And that may be a message that helps someone be able to help with their boundaries, because this Hermit card is really giving me this energy that you guys don't follow with the High Priest. This is a surprise for me, because when the Hermit came up again, I'm like, all right, let's freeze this deck in time and I'll show you what the cards are. So behind it, this High Priestess reverse is really showing me that someone in your energy is putting you against your intuition, that you are receiving something about either specific individuals or a specific situation, and that someone is on the other side telling you not to listen to yourself, saying, oh, you're crazy, or like changing up the details about it so that you would be arguing either with yourself, or maybe it's creating arguments, then it places you to look like some sort of enemy. Some interesting stuff there. And then now there's a resistance to be yourself, be independent. It's like harder to than it was before, because there's all this energy we're not ready to let go of. Spirit's saying that a lot of things that needed to be grounded are not grounding or coming to fruition because of this attachment to whoever's to whoever's sabotaging you. We're specifically talking about enemies that put us in this Hermit energy. We know a lot about the situation, but maybe there was just refusal to see it. And a lot of targeting on your intuition specifically. This High Priestess, I do not like seeing High Priestess reverse, because it is a intuitive card. It's a very intuitive card. Some things are really as black and white as you are receiving them. Sometimes there is this like energy in the middle, because they don't want you to make the clear decision that you have in your heart or mind space. That's why I think the High Priestess is represented with the black and white energy, because your intuition is pretty solid. It's pretty like on the nail. When you are listening to it, you will, like, if you have a intuitive practice, or a practice of like, you know, listening to yourself, understanding where you are, who you are, why things happen, your karma, what you've done to the world, and what the world will give to you. This understanding comes out of the High Priestess, from having your intuition be like being close with source and being close with what you know about certain people or certain things. But there has been intentional arguments placed, and maybe ultimatums placed, to make you not want to walk away or stand in your Nine of Pentacles energy. I hate seeing Nine of Pentacles reversed, because that's really indicative that someone is really strong, really independent, probably very artistic, very creative, can make so many things happen. Nine of Pentacles is this energy of you've done all this work, you've collected your pentacles all for yourself. And the Nine of Pentacles, the woman on the card, is holding a bird, and birds are ancestral and a spirit totem for ancestry. Depending on the bird that you are resonating with, it could be even more unique. But I'm hearing that crows and special bird species may represent ancestry. I mean, many spirit animals can represent ancestry, especially if you have someone that you knew in this lifetime that has passed and they had a favorite animal. They may show you their presence with that same animal symbolism. And so I think there is, because this was reversed, and we have the 10 of Swords and we have a 5 of Swords, it's this energy of you've wanted to walk away from betrayal, but there's all these intended situations that have made it sort of impossible for you to walk away. or maybe there was fear placements that made you not want to walk away, or an action that was like a love bomb, like they didn't love you all this time, they didn't do XYZ, they weren't consistent, they didn't show you the energy that you needed or wanted, but just when you're about to walk away and stand in your Nine of Pentacles energy, they then love bomb you and be like, see, I do love you, see, I am what you have been thinking I am. But it's just to continue some sort of illusion that they're not betraying you behind the scenes. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not, like, doesn't mean that source can't see it, or that your intuition will unlock it for you. So that's the really difficult thing about listening to your intuition, is because your intuition tells you things that you can't see with your 3D eye, like with your 3D eyes and with your 3D body. And so if you are feeling disturbed, unhappy, all these energies, if you are feeling that, it is true, especially of the specific people that the energy surrounds. If the energy surrounds a certain person, that's that. And then you bring it to them, you confront them, or you communicate with them, because there is a certain partnership or agreement that has been in place that, you know, you have to meet that role or meet that expectation to some degree. So then having that communication or confrontation to that person, the energy surrounds, is a very vulnerable moment, because they are able to either tell you the truth or tell you a lie. Now, that's a really sensitive thing, because when you're in that confrontation, you are the one experiencing their eye contact and their bodily signs that are telltale of whether or not they're lying to you or telling the truth. Someone who then falls into their nervous tick, I think this card is showing up at the Seven of Pentacles is showing up reverse, because you need to see what energies are worth planting seeds towards and nourishing and growing, and what seeds are not for you. Someone who can keep direct eye contact with you the entire time is telling you the truth. If they break eye contact, notice the context of why. Are they feeling overwhelming? Or is there an abundance in emotion? Because when you have an abundance of emotion, you can't control your body responses. You can to some degree, but you can't. So if someone's lying, they won't be able to stop certain triggers or tics that they're due, because they're nervous. They're afraid that you're going to find out the truth or something like that. And some people get really strong in being able to, they know that maybe the most common telltale sign is looking you in the eye. So then if they have a practice of looking at people in the eye without flinching, their tick, like, you know, when someone's looking away, you know, what would normally be a sign is, oh, they broke eye contact or they didn't. It would then become a different tick. So if someone's keeping eye contact with you, but then suddenly they're wagging their leg or like fidgeting of some sort, they're nervous because you're onto them. The most professional of liars can look you in the eye and lie to you. But then they don't realize that their practice with their eye contact, sure, they may have strengthened that, but it goes somewhere else. Their weaknesses and their strengths, it gets pushed, like it's a cycle. So certain things you can strengthen, certain things become weaker because you're not focusing on it. And so take notice of who's trying to sabotage your grounded, strong, stable, creative, artistic. Like this 10 of Pentacles is supposed to be, it's supposed to be like it looks like there's a family on here. It looks like there's community in this. There's maybe a castle. This kind of looks like an entrance to like a whole empire. And if you are intentionally like some people will intentionally try and remove you because they see how much you have, and then they try and work you against the things that you have. So be careful who is close with you, because not everyone's meant to be on your journey with you, because they will bring you struggle, they will bring you sabotage, they will put you against yourself. And that's the very thing with this Eight of Cups and the Three of Cups reverse, is the, where's your journey? Where's your celebrations? Where's your friends? Where's your family? Where's all these things? Well, someone was doing some fuck shit and trying, okay? This is trying. They weren't successful is what I'm hearing from Spirit. They cannot be successful, because if you guys are truly good-hearted people in my collective, no divine offer is really going to be rejected. The Four of Cups, when it's an upright, is like rejection. This person literally looks like they don't want this cup that's coming out of the sky, and it's like, why would you not? Like, that looks, it's so magical, it's literally coming out of the sky, but it's in reverse. So it's like you guys aren't in this energy of rejecting things that are for you anymore, because you realize, like, what, like, it's this energy of like, why are certain things so hard, or why, like, you know, like that, this weird, not weird, but it's like this revelation with self, that certain things that you accepted or rejected were maybe based off of someone else that was trying to, live your life. I don't know. Someone wanted to be you, or someone wanted to be like you. So they attempted to be close to kind of maybe model that behavior, or even take the very things that you do have. I don't know. We have Knight of Pentacles there, so whenever I see Knight of Pentacles, I feel warrior-like and protective, and maybe guardianship, and like high honor, or beginning to come into this placement, this position where people maybe want to quickly move towards you rather than you chasing certain things. Things want you. The Lovers, you definitely, and Two of Cups, you definitely have choices here, especially regarding betrayal. You don't have to deal with that any more than you want to. I'm hearing, though, some of you are stuck with kids, and that's your own damn fault if you were trying to trap someone with a child, or even didn't fully process your placements in life before having children, or even not even knowing who they really were, because you didn't listen to your intuition for a long time, and then you forced the situation forward. Nine of Pentacles reverse is like this energy of some of this crying in the dark, or like really dark energy. It's more so for me with this card, it's like, rather than experiencing this alone, some of you in the collective are being much more open with your communication, or wanting to be. But with the Page of Swords reverse, there is fear, because the energy is so fresh, or the energy, like, you're still working on yourself and working on your situations, working on your placements with things. So if you don't feel safe saying something yet, don't say it. Especially if something may be assumptuous or based off of gossip or drama. You know, that stuff can maybe bite you in your own ass if you heard something about someone or something, and then you just transferred it, or someone transferred it to you, and then you made an action based off of it instead of double checking with whoever it was about or from. There is like energy that surrounds others that is just manipulative, that they take what something looks like, make assumptions, and then speak it as if it's truth. And they're, you know, then some people don't know the signs of when someone's lying. They just go, oh, that's my family member, that's my friend, so why would they lie to me? Why would they? And it's like, well, of course, in your 3D body, you're not going to know why. You're not going to be able to see why, because they intentionally hide it. So then your intuition tells you maybe when you're alone, and it's like this, you're ignoring what you receive when you're alone about somebody, and that's the only way spirit can talk to you, is when you're alone. That's the only way when they can, like, when you're not around that person, is for you to be able to process what has happened or their actions or anything like that. But if you then go, nah, they wouldn't, nah, well, they would, because your intuition won't lie to you. Your own body, your own telltale signs for things that can't lie to you. Other people can lie to you, other situations. Even people can send people into your life pretending it's a situation, doing all this fuck shit behind your back. And it could be a group effort. And you're receiving stuff about them and it makes you upset. And rather than accept the situation and actually be upset about it, and be upset enough to be able to remove them, you ignore it because they wanted you to ignore it, and you're following their practices of like continuing to be a piece, like a pawn or a piece in their game, because as long as they're able to do this to you, they're able to use you for things. They're able to make you do things you wouldn't normally do. They're able to have you like see things the way they want you to see it, and then what? You're so far away from the abundance that actually was for you, and that you're giving your abundance to someone else or somewhere else. You guys, what is going on? I'm getting this Lovers card keeps popping up, so there may have been Geminis occurring in the collective. You may be dealing with that in a sun, moon, rising, or Venus placement. We have more cup energy, so maybe there is a water sign happening in your situations too. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Now, a water sign, they get really deep in their emotions. They're really with it there. But someone who's toxic will use how they feel, and their behaviors will just be very, like, they'll be very, like, any zodiac sign in a very extreme toxic situation is going to have their own like characteristics. But with water signs specifically, if they feel very, very, very negative, their behavior will then deliver very, very negative. And then, like, so just saying about that, with air signs, they may love to add the fuel to the fire, like with an air sign and a fire sign. So just recognize the elements and how they may resonate with one another, and see if there's any placements like that here that are with you or against you in that realm. But Spirit's saying with the sequence of cards that a lot of the next steps are up to you, that you can have boundaries against your enemies, boundaries with your with what you're receiving with intuition. Now, if you're receiving that someone in your energy is evil or against you, and you still live with them or you still live near them, that if it's not safe for you to make certain decisions, you can then be like, ask Spirit to divinely guide you to, like, so that when you do need to make a decision, that it'll be safe. Everyone's safety or level of safety is going to differ. It may be having to move house locations. It may be having to move from a job. It may be not being friends with certain people. But if you have a voice, you need to be if you have something to say about your experience, your voice needs to be heard. And if you yourself are preventing yourself from being able to say something because someone is around, that person does not belong around you. You should be able to speak and experience your life as freely as you so please. even if it's to the disagreement, disappointment, or detriment of others. Of course, no violence or harm intended, but like intended, that is a big key word. Some people live their life and their intent is just to be happy. Some people live their life and it just makes them happy to intentionally hurt other people. Like there's a big difference there. So just make sure you know like intention placements and someone's motivation for something. I had an experience where I was helping some youth. I won't say specifically who because it's not safe to say. It's not my situation to completely speak on, but I was helping some youth with homework and schoolwork. And then I was sending them home with messages saying, you know, this is some work that needs to be done still, blah, 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 blah. And I did not speak to everyone directly. I only spoke to one person, asked them to relay the message, and apparently they lied. Because right after that, my access to them was revoked. Because I was getting down to like, well, I am doing schoolwork with them, but they're not going home finishing their schoolwork. Rather, they're probably going home and being ignored or going home, you know, like some funky energy. I'm not going to be assumptuous, but it could be that some of you are dealing with this, where you relayed an information and then it was relayed as a lie because the person you relayed the information about or to was like a middle person who was like against you. Does that make sense? Like, just be careful who you share information with or situations with or who you ask to relay a message to, because it could go very wrong. Just based off either interpretation or someone trying to evade their own problem from surfacing in their own home space or something like that. Because sometimes it's just very clear what side some people are on. Some people are on the side of evil and some people are on the side of good. And then when they mesh, some chaos tends to occur, but mostly to plant the karma in the placements that's meant to be. My entry into any group setting is going to split people who are good and people who are bad just based off of my experience. Being a disabled person, being a person of adversity, being a person of a lot of abundance, the jealous people get seen, and the jealous people, like, they are unable to handle their own placements of, they don't have abundance, but they see someone else have abundance, so their behavior changes when someone new comes in, or when a different situation comes in, or like something that was unexpected for them and they don't know how to handle it. Then you'll see them mishandle all sorts of things. That is their own karma, because they need to learn maybe something about themselves or about their situation, and that is everyone's own journey. Like, I do not shame or judge anyone about that, but if you did do me wrong, you are experiencing a block of some sort, whether it's communication, or I don't see you anymore, I don't talk to you, I don't let you into my social media, like whatever it is. Some of you in the collective need to follow suit of, someone did you wrong, okay, goodbye. And there is this moment of holding grace in between, like, they did wrong. You hold grace for them to be able to apologize to you, make corrective action. But if they do not do it, they failed you. And then you will be failing yourself by asking them to do it, by forcing them to do it, by anything in their direction. Because they wronged you, and at this point you're doing extra work. That's where there's a wrong placement in abundance. You're doing extra work for them when you should have just dropped it. They didn't serve you, they didn't do XYZ for you. Done. They had chances, they had the opportunity, and they took them for granted because they weren't willing to learn. They weren't willing to change what's wrong with them that brought you guys here. Sucks to suck, I guess. And now some of you are, you know, maybe some of you are in different placements of you set boundaries and now you're thriving, or you are needing to set boundaries and only after the math you will begin to thrive in the placements that you want to. Take it however you want, but this Eight of Pentacles now is like the time to work is now. Work on your hobby, work on your passion, work on yourself, work on your body, work on your mental health, your, you know, your spirituality journey, whatever it is that you need to work on. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop. I have these pre-shuffled oracles. These may give you extra signs. They may give you extra messages, extra pieces of validation. They may, I don't know. They'll do something here, okay? You may feel seen, which is good. You may experience a repeat, you know, maybe something in your actual life occurred and then you're seeing it in a card. Wherever or whenever or what, you know, whatever the placement's there, I hope that you see something for you. You can go ahead and let me know if you feel safe doing so. If you don't feel safe letting me know, then hopefully then you'll be in a place where you feel safe. You know, you set the boundaries where you feel safe communicating and getting the help that you need. I'm hearing going to therapy could be very useful for those who have never experienced therapy, like maybe a place to talk about your problems, an objective person who wouldn't take your side or the other side, but just mirror back terminology or information that is related. Okay, so we have Moonstone reverse, we have Green Aventurine, Rhodonite, Numite, and Spessartine Garnet. So with these, I'm just going to be personal here for myself, but I've been resonating with Moonstone, Rhodonite, and Numite and Garnet. Green Aventurine is just, it's validating for me that we're talking about the abundance in the collective. Green Aventurine is a wonderful money manifesting stone, but it's also a wonderful abundance stone. So if you needed more of a certain energy, Green Aventurine can provide that, especially if you put it in certain placements or have it around in certain areas in your life. Green Aventurine is a wonderful companion there. And with the Moonstone reverse, I think some of you are not tapped into your feminine energy and are maybe exuding much more masculine energy, and it may be emasculating a certain someone. Take that if it resonates. If it doesn't, that's okay. There's more messages surrounding this Moonstone because some of you may not have access to Moonstone and need Moonstone, or you have recently let go of Moonstone because there's maybe too much feminine energy. With this Moonstone reverse, it's either an abundance or a lack of feminine energy. Wherever you are, just know that if you have too much of any energy, it could be detrimental, because if you are extremely happy, guess what? There's going to be so many people who are going to try and destroy that happiness. And then if you're extremely upset, well, guess what? Some people are going to try and take you out of your sadness. And so like that's this like destruction energy of like people will just want to give you the opposite energy because they maybe see you in like in a certain light, and then they want to help you, and they don't know that helping you is either actually helping you or not helping you, because maybe their help was unwarranted. Maybe their appearance in your life was not asked for, or like it wasn't welcome, and or certain energies weren't welcome. And so with this rhodonite energy, this crystal, this stone is really wonderful for grounding love, grounding this feeling of rhodonite's just the unconditional love type of energy that's a bit more that's more grounding in my experience than like a rose quartz. Rose quartz, it's more translucent, it's clear, so I think it will have more of a clearing effect, and then the placement of love. But this rhodonite gives me like you have already cleared or have that intention already, and you need more. You need the grounding element. This is kind of the energy that I get from rhodonite. It's something a little bit more stable with self and your connections. With Numite, this crystal is said to be very potent and helping you to be in your higher vibrations. So it's being shown here either because Spirit wants to guide you to your higher vibrations, to your higher levels, or you have resonated with Numite or had service with Numite. You may need to get your hands on Numite if you want to be at a higher level, if you want something that's strong, but not necessarily like super otherworldly, because I know that Moldavite can be very extreme for some. So you may be interested in Numite and its qualities. And garnet is really wonderful for love, specifically stability and like root chakra energy, being very strong and stable in your situations. Garnet is very good for the headstrong. Grounding you both in the root chakra. For me, the way I'm picking up garnet here is that being headstrong is good for those who are really strong in their root chakra, and they need to be like a bit more like stronger in the way that their energy is being applied. So being headstrong is like using your head and being like, this is my stuff, and like you're so grounded in it that you're like from root to crown, you're there, you're there with the stability of love. That's this energy I'm getting with the garnet. More on the pre-shuffled oracles. We have Goddess, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life, force, and sexuality. Shadow attribute says exploitation of the female nature and form. So Moonstone reverse could be related to this, that some of you are sexualized and it takes away from your power. Some of you are seen as too emotional, too wise, too something for your own good, and then they use it against you, thinking that kindness is a weakness. It's not. It's like this feminine energy is what makes you really soft. It makes you really nurturing. It's only a weakness if you don't have boundaries with it. So you need to be a judge of yourself, of who needs more boundaries, and XYZ. Judge, light attribute, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. The shadow attribute says offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. So some people have been misjudging your abundance, saying you don't deserve stuff, saying like, why are they getting these things and I'm not? And so they place this judgment on you, but it's like you need to be the judge of your own situation. These people who are harshly judging you are people who are not with you, because anyone who really loves you and your journey wouldn't have that placement. They wouldn't misuse your power. They wouldn't see your power as like, how can I use it. Does that make sense? Like, how can I, like, you know, maybe take their supporters? How can I, like, it's just like this weird thing. Like, if I'm seen around them, what can I get by being seen around them? And it's just like, kind of like, free yourself from this energy, because we have this liberator, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So this liberator, there is big time, like, someone needs to be free of limiting beliefs, free of patterns that are placed by family or friends, a group of people that tend to think in fear or tend to think into negativity. You need to free yourself from those people, because they will be destructive to your journey, even to the slightest. If they joke, if they say a hateful comment, and they go, yo, like, you say, like, that's not cool for you to say, like, quit your shit. And they go like, oh, why are you holding a grudge, or why are you so twisted, and blah blah blah. Well, like, that's, they're like, they just, no. They're going to make themselves out to be a victim that you don't want to be around them, and be like, some of you just, like, you're being blamed for having a boundary over how you're spoken to or about, and then you're attacked. You become a victim of them because they just couldn't handle whatever you had going for yourself. And you're like, you're trying to be happy, speak on your happiness, and then they laugh at you, or they say a hateful comment, and you're like, yo, that was fucked up. Or you say something, you have a boundary, you say, that's not cool, yo. And then what? Then suddenly you're in an argument, or suddenly you're a victim of something that happens that was maybe set up by them. This victim's card says victim, prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. So maybe you need to be out of a victim mindset, or stop allowing your bulliers or your enemies to be in your space, because you'll continue to be in a victim mindset. You'll continue to be a victim if you allow it. Some of you are allowing these people to stay. You're allowing the energy to stay, whether it's your energy or somebody else's. There is allowance for it, and that the spirit says that shit has to stop, because eventually it's gonna kill you. Eventually they will probably literally kill you. So you need to remove yourself from the spaces where you feel this way, because they are making you feel this way on purpose, or you are allowing that, which is then you purposefully bringing yourself here. Playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries, emphasis on boundaries. But some people will play like they are the one being affected, or the one that has the problem, when they're trying to place the very problem. They're like, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending to be good when they're not good, pretending like they aren't the one placing you in this space. I know someone who did that, and it's surrounding this virgin energy. Literally, I was in a group and we called ourselves the Pact, and I now believe that the whole thing was a joke on whether or not I can successfully have sex, because people thought that I was like, my physical body was not attractive because I'm a double leg amputee. I came from a very, very small town, and it's like really fucked up that my own friend group thought it was a joke, thinking like I couldn't have sex, or like I couldn't have sexual partners or romantic partners that actually liked me. And like, I don't know, I'm not being accusatory of everyone in that group, but by association, everyone in that group is not my friend anymore. Because like, some people didn't know what type of joke it was, and some people did. There's people that, you know, they would pretend to be like my friend, and then they weren't actually my friend, saying stuff like I'm stupid and I'm ugly to themselves, because knowing that I saw them in a good light, that I saw good in them, that I basically saw myself in them. Because there's things that are similar and different about anyone in anybody. Like, you can always connect and be disconnected. And so I always tried so hard to be connected with every individual that I meet, meeting them with love, meeting them with intention, meeting them with connection. And this energy is like, a lot of people would pretend like they actually have these problems when they're trying to place the problem on me. And it's like, I never really, we were in school, we were elementary school, middle school, high school, like, this was virgin. This is all new energy for me. So processing it has taken literally 2 decades and a half. I'm 26 years old now, and I've experienced all the good and all the bad that I can possibly see up to now. And I couldn't know the difference because I always saw the good in people because I am good. I had to see certain extremes maybe later on in my life. I'm literally now getting death threats and physical attacks and like stalkers and shit like that. But it's like maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. If you keep a purely good energy, nothing bad can actually penetrate your aura or penetrate your like situation or literally penetrate yourself, like your holes. Some of you sexually, and maybe that, but like maybe it did occur for some time that you let some of these people into your space, into your energy, into, but at some point it does stop. At some point you come to a breaking point, and it's really disappointing and sad for self to hit that breaking point before you do things. But Spirit says that certain situations were built to break you down, to build you up stronger. And so some of you have survived, and now you are this teacher or this guidance. Some of you can be counselors. Some of you can be like parental figures, like very strong, beautiful energies here by just being a survivor and then teaching those who are in a different place than you. So we have light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Shadow attributes, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now with this teacher card, I'm getting dual energy as well, because some people teach you the wrong things on purpose. They teach you the wrong things on purpose. They know how someone prefers to be handled, and then they send you through with the whole ass opposite energy, doing this or that, so that you look a certain way, or you are, but at some point you're like, oh, okay, well that was a tactic that was used against me. You can maybe prevent someone from teaching you the wrong thing by validating it by someone else. Because I think some of you in your workspace, you have someone who is, maybe they brought you in, they're meant to be your mentor, but then at some point maybe they didn't want you to be better than them or take their spot or something like this. So they may teach you something that would make you look bad so you don't take their spot. Because if someone isn't doing well enough and then someone who's really doing really well comes up, their position gets threatened. And instead of doing better and, increasing their skill, increasing the work on themselves, they rather take you out. By teaching you something wrong, by doing something wrong. But I think the beautiful energy surrounding teacher is about seeing what you went through and showing others how not to go through the same thing. To just minimize the amount of pain that will or can be experienced. Yes. God, light attributes, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. So some people do like to play God, pretend like they're close with God. But like certain, if you had abundance and blessings coming your way, some people who are really jealous will then play God and be like, well, they don't deserve their abundance. They don't deserve their blessing. So then they block it. They tell a lie. They do an action. They make you think. They teach you something that would be maybe not what the workspace or whoever's going to hire you, whoever wants you, they tell you something that would turn them off. Or they tell that person or the situation something that would turn them off from you. That would be like attempting to play God, saying like, oh, they don't deserve this. But only God can say, only Source can fully say whether or not it's deserved. So the fact that there was even a blockage that was humanly made, God will then override that and be like, you try to block my child, well, you're going to be blocked, period. So some of you are like, maybe you are creators, maybe you are like on a certain path and you were successful up to a certain point, but then maybe there was an action somewhere where you done wrong. Well, if you done wrong, then Spirit will make sure that you can't continue or don't do wrong again by whatever means necessary that is applicable. Someone's karma is their own shit that they served out to the world. Someone whose car got removed, someone whose job got removed, someone whose family member got removed, like certain things that it was taken for granted. And God takes it away for you to see what you did to the world or to somebody else. Or some, like I'm getting some of you experience writer's block. Some of you experience a creative block. Some of you are getting fired or you were placed in a job that you thought was going to be amazing. And then God's like, ha ha ha, you thought, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, like laughing at you because you thought it was funny to mess with someone else's life, mess with someone else's abundance, mess with someone else's blessings. And if it's meant for them, God knows it's meant for them. And then God sees you trying to get in the way. And then surrounding some of this bullshit energy, there's gossip trying to hide their shit. It's fucking funny because the people who they're gossiping to or around, it's like some of you watch my readings and it's like embarrassing to watch them unravel like this. Gossip awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Shadow attributes thrives on power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidence. Slave and fool, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust and giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear and making your own choices. And fool, fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy, using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of your emotional truth. So some you'll see hatred disguised as jokes. Be careful of the words that are spoken to you and around you. Even if it's disguised as a joke, there's truth there. They're hiding behind their joke. They're hiding behind something here, because I'm not with this energy here. But then you could also find laughter in just being like, ha ha ha, like they're experiencing karma. And it's not to say that you hope or are happy that they experience karma, but at least like that you're released from the situation. You can start over. You don't have to be with their hate. You can continue laughing and being in your happy spirit, knowing that you're doing better and they're experiencing their stuff. With slave, it's like surrender all of this energy to spirit. You don't have to deal with this or feel enslaved in your situation or trapped in your situation. Let Source guide you in, through, and out, and you'll be fine. No more complaining. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never true spiritually. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. It is safe for you to receive. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. Now, if you would love to receive your blessings, you may need to let your karma be received first and be clean of karma first before your blessing comes in. You guys are beginning, you guys are young and successful or about to be young and successful. When that is easily seen, your karma placements can be placed by someone else. Your karma placements could be that someone, did something karmically to you and then you retaliated. And then the fact that you retaliated is a karmic action. It could be someone told you a lie and then you made an action off of that lie. And that was someone giving their karma to you. So if they were evil, they had evil intent. And then they know that they can escape their karma by putting it on somebody else. You need to realize this and place boundary with someone treating you like a pawn, with someone treating you like you can just do that, you will just, be their slave and do whatever you ask them to, or they ask you to, whatever it is. So make sure that whatever you're receiving, you're like, I'm ready to receive my good. I'm ready to receive my blessing. You may not see your blessing right away because you need to have your karma wiped of your hands. And you can really do that by being in a quiet retreat. See no evil, do no evil. Don't be a part of it. Don't take an action when you know someone has already done, put other people in the middle. Don't be another person in the middle. Even if you're trying to save other people in the middle, just be away from everything, because surrounding that, because if someone's not willing to see that they're a pawn, but you know that you're a pawn, you know that they're a pawn, but they don't see it, it's in their divine timing, their unique lesson and unique abundances keeps them in certain placements for a reason. So don't touch it, don't play God and be like, let me help you, let me do this, God, you can't change someone. You can't change someone's perspective. You can't do anything like that with another human. Only God can do that. And that's why with this energy, you yourself have to withdraw. And then when other people are ready to withdraw, they will on their own time. It's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. Signs. This card is reversed because you guys do not pay attention to your own body's telltale signs and sources signs that would validate. Maybe because you're either new with spirituality or there's been a long time of not listening, not being in practice with self. And so I'd love to have this upright. You need to work on your instincts, work on the messages you receive from yourself and from the divine. Instincts are the message from the inner divine, is what it says. So instinctively, you may know who, what, where, when, why, all these things about your betrayals. You may know already, and you may have been ignoring it for some time. But if there's stuff that you need to know and you would love to know, then this is your sign from Spirit saying, pay attention to your signs that your body gives you. Certain indications would be left side versus right side. Left side is receiving, right side is giving. Left side is generally bad, right side is generally good. Left hand itching versus right hand itching could be placements of past, present, or future. If in the present time you know that you are going to spend money, your right hand is going to itch. But if you are not in any place where you're going to be spending or receiving money, right? If you're just at home relaxing and your right hand itches, it may be that you're going to, spirit wants to give you something in the future, right? If it's not something that is like an energy that is of you, like that you know that you're going to spend money, right? You're going to be giving money, right hand, giving money. If you're giving money, that's obviously kind of taking away from you. But then spirit can show you, like, this is what's going to happen to you in the future. I'm going to bless you with money. Right hand itching. Or left hand itching could be it, like, it's very unique to you, whether you think it's in the past, present, future. Your signs are your own instincts. If you have, some of you have like an itchy middle in between your eyes, your intuition is either being tested, worked on, it's trying to be used. Something about your intuition you need to tap into. That's what's with this, your eyes, your third eye itching. If you have a headache, migraines, things like that, you may have crown chakra issues. People may be giving you psychic attack. Some people may be actually trying to get into your mind, play mind games with you. So just be careful, because the types of messages that you can receive are limitless, but it will be true. See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone to show you something. Reframe, this is happening for me, not to me. Divine love, when you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. And true offering, reverse. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So some of you may not have received your blessing or your manifestation because you have someone who's blocking it. You know, spirit is just waiting to be able to give you this true offering, but it needs, you know, you need to protect yourself from the people who would sabotage it or give you struggle, because the true offering, you will, like, if you have people around you who will give you struggle or sabotage, then you will internalize that and then sabotage your manifestation, sabotage your blessing. And then, like, they'll be like, well, I didn't, you know, like, people will then say, well, like, you did it, like, because you did. It's like, it's that allowance of letting these people in. You let them in, so then you let their energy in, you let their behaviors, their ways, their words, their self-doubt, like a lot of this energy in. And then, so, like, that's why some of you haven't seen it, because you need to reframe or restructure this, all of this. a lot of this needs to be rebuilt. Inner child, and you may find that your passion work has a lot to do with things that you did when you were a kid, and that you need to let if you're an adult now, you may need to just tap back into things that you did as a kid and, like, return to that as a passion, but do it in adulthood, so you'll have definitely the power that you wanted as a kid, but you could do it now as an adult. And, you know, maybe you asked your parents for certain things, or asked your guardians or, like, older figures for certain things. Maybe you didn't have that allowance, that grant, that thing that you wanted, but now that you're an adult, you can now. There's so much freedom now in adulthood. So you may need to let your inner child live. Maybe you killed your inner child because you thought you had to grow up. You killed your inner child because, like, these people wanted to deny you of your offerings and your blessings and being with love. You know, maybe you did have love in your family dynamic, but then people were jealous of love, so they somehow try to remove it. Maybe they were successful, but only for some time. Source is only going to allow it for some time for you to learn a lesson and for the people who are involved to learn a lesson. And then once someone or something learns a lesson, there may be a boundary. It may take some time for the other party to catch up, but the lessons are placed there on purpose, lovingly. As much as it sucks and as much as it hurts, it's placed there on purpose so that you can fulfill your prophecies, fulfill your blessings, fulfill your, like, the legacy, like, whatever your life purpose is meant to be. it's mostly surrounding your inner child. Whatever you were young and, you know, you came out to this world feeling passionate and you felt like you were born to do it, or you felt so good doing it as a child, and then like sometime along the journey someone ruined it. You need to allow yourself to let this inner child live again. A lot of inner child things for me is dancing, singing, stuff to do with music, and playing cards. Literally like the playing cards, like the normal playing card deck. I used to shuffle those and collect those. Like I used to love, like ever since I learned how to bridge shuffle, I loved having cards. And so now you're seeing cards in my adulthood life, but it's like the type of cards that will help people. Because when I was young, I was like, I want to help people. And I never knew what the placement was. And I never knew what items or what tools would bring me there. But parts of my inner child are in alignment with what I'm doing. And so you guys take my experience to heart. I'm literally going to be in tears, you guys. Let your inner child live. I don't know who, when you guys were children, like crushed your dreams or crushed your heart, crushed something that made you very happy. Allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. Your inner child needs to live, because your inner child probably knew your life purpose before you did in adulthood. Like it's been hidden to you, maybe because you were just surrounded by so much attackers and enemies. You couldn't possibly unlock it unless you were away from the enemies, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Divine Source says it's to protect your inner child, to protect your journey. Some of these blockages had to happen. It could be an internal block, it could be external blocks. Place them where they're needed. Divine Source says, for me, I'm getting, it's a level of protection. Certain secrets or certain information just doesn't get revealed until you're safe. Help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. Trusting Source is going to be one of the best things that you will take in for yourself. And that's following that intuition, even if it's not in alignment with your 3D. It may not make sense, but if you trust it, you'll be placed where your true offering is. I don't like that reverse. I'm going to keep it there. And it's beautiful above this, the Lover's card and the Two of Cups. We have harmony and resolution, blessings and abundance, clear, cancel, and release, inner child healing, cut the cords. Some of you know where you need to cut cords, cut people off. Some of you don't, and you may need to meditate on, you may need to meditate with pyrite. Pyrite is wonderful for diminishing illusions. It's wonderful for your abundance. It's wonderful for your solar plexus, being more confident, being more solid in your decisions. Some of you can't make clear, solid decisions because there's so much partial energies or so many people attacking your thought process. So tune into holy love, surrender to the answers and the clarity and the types of things that you receive intuitively. Choose a new direction. If you believe the situation will improve, slow down and rest. You need it. This one's in reverse. Negligence with rest, I'm seeing. Negligence with taking that time for yourself. Excuse me. Write down your goals, dream big, show off your sparkle and shine from the inside. Treat yourself to something beautiful today. I want to highlight this last card. Treat yourself to something beautiful. If your inner child always wanted something, give yourself the adult version of it, or literally the exact, like the replica, or like what, like a copy of whatever it was from back then. Like if it costs money, if it does, like this shit's not gonna make sense for someone else who's not on their journey. So like don't let someone judge you for something that will make you happy. Literally last night the Bratz movie came on, and I probably was only able to watch like the first half hour before falling asleep, and then also before placing a judgment on it and being like, wow, this the acting, like a lot of the energy was very extreme, like, but then I had a self-realization that some of these kid movies place stereotypes. They have extreme stereotypes, they have extreme situations, they have, like, it's all made up, right? But I think the intent is to show the lesson in the best way possible. So Mean Girl will really be mean, you know, and like, and you're not, I don't think our children are meant to watch this media by themselves, because I really took in these messages as if they were true, as if they were real life. And it's like they kind of are, but I didn't have like a certain guidances because language barrier, you know, family dynamics changing all the time, household locations changing all the time, like all sorts of things like that. So it's like me, I treated myself to an inner child thing, and that was watching this Bratz movie and realizing something, and it brought me it brought me a lot of happiness reconsidering a Bratz movie in my life. And then it brought me healing because I realized like a revelation about child movie, like movies catered for children. I think that a lot of people don't talk about this, is that like the media that is made for children is meant to be watched with the children they're for, by an adult, to monitor, like, do you resonate with a bad character or a good character, and like kind of helping guide them into what's wrong versus what's right. And now I took things as like, oh, that person is depicted as like the popular person, so I thought I had to be mean, or I thought I had to be like, I like, just certain dynamics didn't make sense to me as a kid because I soaked them up with an underdeveloped mind. So this treat yourself to something beautiful today, treat yourself to an inner child thing. Honestly, if it's a hobby, if it's a toy, if it's an item, if it's a place, literally anything and everything, treat yourself to that. You may reveal something that will be healing for you, or it's just a beautiful energy to be in, period. So go there, be there, love yourself, accept yourself, meet yourself exactly where you are. Abundance in both positive or negative. Find out what you need more of, find out what you need less of, and do that. Trust yourself and trust what is happening around you, things that are falling apart. Source is making it fall apart because it's not for you anymore. If it was before, it may not be now. So just take into consideration exactly where you're at. Again, like I said, what you need more of, give yourself more. If you need less of it, make sure that you're placing the boundaries so it happens less. That is all the messages I have. Please take care. And if you would like the transformations or breaking of illusions, pyrite is wonderful for that. Moldavite may be too strong for some, but some may need that power, like that amount. And black opal if you need the motivation to move forward, or unakite to be able to release how you feel, or really tap into like what's this abundance that is not needed. Unakite will definitely help you release either the emotion or release the situation in the special placements that you need. So you guys, if you're young and successful, or your journey is going to be young and successful, I pray that it continues to be that way. That your spirit, even as our body grows old, I hope your spirit stays young, and that everything you do is placed with good intentions, and that it's serving for the good of all. Take your passions and show another person that it's okay to be who you are. Okay, so that's the message. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being you. This was Magic with Melly. Goodbye.